Smash Mikey Gaming.
What's up, all you beautiful gamers out there? Mad Mikey coming to you at the end of the week for what is now known and forever will be the shit I'll probably never play. The show where I show you my collection of games that I've spent money on this week. Shut up, woman! And without further ado, so these first three games that I had this week, I actually forgot to put in last week because I actually got a Sega Mega Drive 2, no, not Mega Drive, Master System 2 last week, which was kindly donated by my wife's awesome friend, Fee. And so I went out and bought some games, but the problem is I haven't been able to tune in the actual system. It looks like it's almost wants to tune in, but I just can't get it to tune in. I've tried manual, I've tried everything. So my next thing that I'm going to try is going to try and tune it into the LED HD TV, see if that works. Other than that, I don't know if it works or not. It looks like it's going to work, honestly. As soon as I start tuning, there's like this big and it just goes black like it's about to start and then just goes past. So I don't know. If you guys have got any hints or anything, please let me know. So first thing I went down to Cash Converters and I bought a couple of games. Now, first one I got was Wonder Boy. Now, I remember playing this when I was a little tucker. Don't remember much about it though. I thought that it was sort of like the Alex Kid. I didn't remember that the Master System 2 came with Alex Kid in Wonderland. So Wonder Boy I thought was the same thing, but apparently it's not. So it was actually really fun shopping for these games because, again, don't know that much about them, so it was really like you were judging them by their cover. This was the only one that I bought that didn't come without a cover. So that moves me on to this rescue mission. Just sort of jumped out. I mean, like they had a couple of boxed games that were there. This one jumped out for some strange reason. Like I looked at the back, and it looked pretty entertaining. And your friends are trapped behind enemy lines. Such a friggin' 80s game. But I've only just noticed before I start staying up here, it says light phaser required. I do not have a light phaser. I've barely got a system that I think is working at the moment. But I swear whoever sold these just must have found them in their garage and taken them down because there's cobwebs and everything. I only just noticed these two. So they might need a bit of a clean out, to be honest. And the next one was Super Tennis. Tennis games were always good back then, or as I commonly refer to as Pong Advance. Look, it comes with the manual and whatnot. They all look in general good nick. This one a lot better than the other one. But yeah, you can't sort of go wrong with your sports games. Have a couple of mates just hitting the ball backwards and forwards, you know, as you do. And now, just a couple of odds and ends that I did get this week. Now, I did order these a couple of weeks ago, but they did take a while. First up, I got a Rumble Pack for my Nintendo 64. It comes with batteries and all, so I ended up picking this up for like $10 and whatnot. So that should be fun. It was just one of the missing accessories that I did have for the Nintendo 64. And I got a new extension cable for my Gamecube controller because where it's at the moment, it just doesn't reach far enough. And these are fairly cheap anyway. They're all just made in crap Japan and whatnot. It was almost all Dreamcast week this week. If you obviously exclude the Sega games that I bought because they were bought from last week. But first up, now, Crazy Taxi, I've been after this one for ages. I've just been after a reasonable price and whatnot, and when I was sort of sitting on the couch, mending myself after my surgery, this one came across and I was like, well, I'm buying the next game that I'm going to show you guys, so I may as well pick this one up. Really good nick. Again, this is bought from Fully Retro off of eBay. They have really good quality, so there's no breakages, nothing. The disc's in really good quality. You actually get the manual and everything. I think there's even, it's like one of those old redemption forms in here. No, I'm wrong. It's like an advertising. So it's advertising Sonic, Red Dog, Soul Calibur. So it's as far as I know, this is complete. So I was pretty happy with that one. And the funny thing is, like, I almost bought this for a second time because I actually forgot that I'd bought it because when I buy from the UK, it does take a couple of weeks to get down here, and I was a bit worried that because there was actually some reports of theft at the local Australia Post here in Melbourne, so I was like, knowing my luck, they would have pinched mine, but luckily they didn't. Next up was the other game that I ordered with Crazy Taxi, and it's Lodos, Record of Lodoss War. So a lot of use of the word Lodos, and I have no idea what that means. I actually came across this game. I was watching the Dreamcast guy. I actually quite enjoy him. His voice leaves a bit to be desired, but hey, that's his hook, so he sticks with it, same as a lot of people have got their hook. Now, this game is actually a Diablo-style game, and I'd never heard of it. Again, it's in really good nick and whatnot. And he sort of put it in his top 10 Dreamcast games that you'd never heard of, or well, the best ones that you'd never heard of. And it actually looks really good. It's very much Diablo style, but on a console. And I know it wasn't the first one because I know that they sort of brought out some of the ones of like that on the old PlayStation. But this one sort of jumped out at me a bit because it really did. He just said that the music gets on a bit because in repeat. The only gripe that I had with this game is that they advertise it as A quality. Now look, obviously the case is in perfect nick. There's a few minor sort of scratches and whatnot. But when I pulled it out and I looked at the disc, I was like, that's not A. Well, it's not their standard A. I mean, it still works. They're just surface scratches, but it just doesn't look as it normally would. But I chucked it in. It all worked and everything, so I was pretty happy with that. I think of all the games that I got this week, this is probably going to be the one that I play. It actually looks really interesting. And the last Dreamcast game of the week. Now, the story behind this one was I was actually inquiring with the guy through one of the Facebook groups about buying Crazy Taxi. As we know, I've already bought that one. And because I've sort of set a budget and whatnot for my games, like I'm really sort of trying to tighten it up because there's a lot of stuff coming out next week. So like, in the next couple of weeks, so I've got the collector's edition of Mafia 3 coming. There's obviously Gears of War 4 and there's PlayStation VR. So I'm really just trying to cramp down that money so that I can afford all those awesome games coming out. And like the guy was selling Crazy Taxi at a fairly decent price, and I'm like, oh, look, is Crazy Taxi still available? He's like, yeah. I said, okay, we'll get that. And so then sort of sent him the money and whatnot, and we started chatting. He goes, hey, look, you're an alright guy, sort of thing. I'm going to put up some games tomorrow. I'll give you first look. So he put them up. And then he showed me a game that I've been looking for ages. You can't find it on eBay, at least for a decent price. And I haven't been able to find it on any of the Facebook groups or whatnot. And it is Sonic Adventure 2. Now, from what I've heard, Sonic Adventure 2 is not as good as Sonic Adventure 1 by any stretch of the imagination. But it is just really hard to find. And then I'm like, how much is it? And he's like, I'm selling it for 70. And I'm like, I'm like, I'm on such a budget right now. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. He's like, Eesh. And like I went and I looked on eBay and I still couldn't find it anywhere for a decent price on eBay that was less than $70 at least. And I'm just like, I'm not, as soon as this goes up, as soon as he posts it, it's gone. So I'm like, you know what, I've got to have this game to complete the Sonic collection on the Dreamcast. Let's do it. I said, can I just not get the Crazy Taxi? And I was really lucky because then I was sort of looking on eBay afterwards as I was sort of after I talked to him. I was like, oh, thank God I didn't get it. I'd ordered already Crazy Taxi. So that was a moment. Almost bought two of the same game. So that would have really affected the budget, I think. Bougie. And the last game of the week is Wrestlemania 19. Now, again, this was when I was just sort of sitting on the couch, getting better after my surgery, and I don't know, I saw it, and I saw some gameplay and some fighting. I saw it on the Fully Retro's website. I'm like, oh, let's have a look at that. And I was watching the wrestling matches, and it looked really, really good. Like, quality like your No Mercy WrestleMania 2000 on the Nintendo 64. I'm like, far out. That looks like those games, but with GameCube graphics. I'm like, sold. And it was only like $10, I think, Australian. So I was like, I've ordered those games already, so obviously save on postage and whatnot. So I bought it. I'm like, yeah, that looks awesome. And even if you look on the back, it's all wrestling and blah, blah, blah. So then I went out and I checked out a couple of reviews, and the story mode on this, like, full on takes place in like construction yards and car parks, like not even in the building, and you just have to like throw off construction workers and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I remember this game now. Like, it's got like the in-ring wrestling looks amazing, but the actual story mode looks absolutely abysmal. And I remember my mate Dan you'll probably see him comment every now and then, Natty Pie's House of Horrors. He bought this, and I think he regretted it. And as soon as I bought it, I'm like, oh no. But look, it's one for the collection. I think I think that completes the wrestling collection on the GameCube, because I've definitely got all the other ones. But that's it for this week. I mean, it was fairly small. As I said, I'm sort of budgeting because there are a lot of big titles coming out, especially the VR. That's the cost of a friggin' another console. But guys, if you like what you see or got any comments about any of the games, I'd love to hear of any of your memories, because obviously I talk about if I've got memories of them. Love to hear about them in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you like it, like Buddy Christ. And look, we'll see you guys next week. I hope you have a great gaming week. And also, I mean, let's just talk about what game you're going to get done this week. I know there's a lot of sports grand finals this week with the rugby and the AFL. You're going to have time to play. I know I am.